Welcome to the 22 Lions Podcast, your daily blueprint for writing, publishing, and profiting from books. Today, we dive into Fair Split, 5 steps to build royalties and rights agreements that scale your author business. If you collaborate with co-authors, ghostwriters, or contributors, listen closely. This episode saves launches and revenue. Here's the problem. Messy royalty splits and fuzzy rights clauses stall launches, sour partnerships, and siphon income away from authors who should be earning. You lose momentum, trust breaks down, and books that should sell for years sit stuck in limbo. We're going to fix that. In the next 8 minutes, you'll get 5 concrete steps, a short 3-book case study, and a 1-page checklist you can use today to draft a fair agreement. No legalese, just practical actions you can take immediately. Joining me now is Dan Desmarks, author, entrepreneur, and publishing operator. Dan, let's break this down. Give us the fundamentals first. Define rights versus royalties and why that distinction matters.
Thanks, Arya. First, rights and royalties are related but not the same. Rights are ownership or licensed permissions, who controls the content and how it can be used. Exclusive versus non-exclusive, worldwide versus territory limited, and time limited versus perpetual. Royalties are how revenue is shared when that content earns money, the split on sales, licensing fees, or audio production income. Keep those terms defined up front. Rights answers who can make products. Royalties answers who gets paid when products sell. Practical tip: add a 2-line definition section at the top of every agreement. Define copyright owner, licensee, territory, format, and royalty base, net versus list. That small clarity prevents half your disputes later.
Great. Now give our listeners a crisp, usable set of split models. What 3 structures do you recommend, and when to use each?
There are 3 reliable models. 1. Flat fee. Use this when you hire a ghostwriter, a contractor, and want a clean, predictable cost. Example: pay $5,000 up front and retain 100% rights and royalties. 2. Pure royalty split. Use when collaborators share brand and marketing risk. For example, 2 co-authors split net author earnings 50-50 after retailer fees. 3. Hybrid. This is the most scalable. A reduced flat fee plus a royalty share. Example: $1, $500 upfront plus 20% of net royalties for 3 years. Hybrids align incentives. Contributors get paid now and participate in upside. Sample percentages for co-authors who both contribute equally, 50-50. For author plus marketing partner, consider 70/30 favoring the author. For ghostwriters in a hybrid, 10 to 30% depending on the fee and future work. The key is to match risk, role, and ongoing work to the split.
Those are practical frameworks. Next section, payment cadence, metadata, and exit clauses. These are the operational details that make a split livable. Dan, walk us through the operational rules every agreement needs.
Step 3, payment cadence and accounting. Spell out when payments are calculated and paid, monthly or quarterly, with the reporting period and clear deduction rules. Use a simple payout example in the contract. Show a mock math line, list price, retailer cut, tax withholding, net royalty, then split. Automate where you can. Connect KDP or distributor statements to a shared spreadsheet, or use a third-party payout tool. For small teams, a shared Google Sheet with a living ledger and receipts is enough. For larger splits, consider a small accounting tool that issues automated payments. Step 4. Metadata, credits, and discoverability. Contracts should mandate exact bylines, author name formatting, BISAC categories, and the account that owns the ASIN or ISBN. Why? If a collaborator uploads under a different name or inconsistent metadata, discoverability drops and sales fragment. Add a metadata checklist, attachment status of ASINs, BISAC category, primary author credit, and cover designer credit, and require photo ID or proof of publishing account where necessary. Step 5. Exit, transfer, and scaling clauses. Define buyouts and reversion triggers. If a partner stops working for X months, rights revert or a buyout formula kicks in. Include clear transfer rules for selling subsidiary rights, audio translation, who has first refusal, and how proceeds are split. For series scaling, include options for adding new titles under the original split or renegotiating with notice. Avoid vague language that leaves future books up for dispute. One operational note: always include jurisdiction and tax handling. For international teams, require local tax forms and specify which country's law governs the agreement.
Okay, now show us a short real-world example where the right model changed outcomes. Tell our listeners about the 3-book collaboration you mentioned.
Case study: 3 authors collaborated on a nonfiction microseries. Initially, they almost stalled over a straight 50-50 split because one author provided the concept and marketing, another did the majority of the writing, and the third handled editing and promotion. They moved to a hybrid, a modest upfront fee for the primary writer, a 25% ongoing royalty to the writer for the next 3 years, 40% split between the concept plus marketing owner and the promotion lead, with 35% retained by the project account to cover ad spend and production. Outcome: the first launch paid the upfront fee and created a revenue stream. Because incentives were aligned, the marketing owner invested in ads, sales increased, and the writer earned ongoing royalties. The series produced predictable monthly royalties and a growing backlist value. Everyone earned more than the initial 50-50 plan would have delivered.
That hybrid saved the launch and created recurring income. Now, immediate action. Here's a 1-page checklist you can use right now to draft your agreement. 1-page checklist. 1. Parties and roles. Name and primary responsibilities. 2. Rights defined. Exclusive versus non-exclusive. Territory, formats. 3. Royalty structure. Flat fee, split, or hybrid, and exact percentages. 4. Payment cadence. Monthly, quarterly, accounting example. 5. Metadata and ASIN ownership and crediting. 6. Exit or buyout terms and reversion triggers. 7. Jurisdiction and tax obligations. Fill each field before you sign.
Quick risks recap. Watch for royalty miscounts. Always demand an auditable ledger. Jurisdiction mismatches. Agree on governing law and metadata errors. Verify bylines on every store before launch. Fixes are simple. Require statement exports, add a governing law clause, and include a mandatory metadata verification step in your launch checklist.
Ready for the next step? Grab the customizable royalty split template and book a publishing consultation with 22 Lions. Use the template to draft your first agreement, then bring it to a consultation to finalize terms and confirm launch logistics. Write it, publish it, profit from it. That's your step-by-step system for today. Apply it and watch your author business grow. Publish like a pro. Profit like a lion. Thank you for listening to the 22 Lions podcast. If this episode helped, subscribe and share with a collaborator who needs a fair split. Until tomorrow, your book is an asset, not a hobby.